Okay, I am live and it looks like connected this time. We had a little tech glitch there. So I'm going to bring Carrie on in just a moment. I'm just going to let her know, bring you in a moment. Okay, all right. So if anybody's watching this, just please say hello so I know this is working, but it looks like we are connected. And I'm going to trim this video when I'm done to get rid of this little piece. So I'm just going to put a little, let's see. I'm going to bring Carrie in and then we are going to start. All right, so here we go. All right, welcome, Carrie.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
I don't know what happened, but everything seems to be fine now. We are live in the appropriate group. So I'm just waiting for, it takes a few minutes to come on, and I'll just wait for someone to pop in and say that they see us. And I'm going to let Alma know we're live now. We're live now. Let me know if you see us. Okay, that was strange. It's one thing, yeah, oh, there, someone's there, so I assume that's probably Alma. It's one of the things about StreamYard is if it doesn't connect, you seem to have to go create a whole new broadcast and put it all together again. So I was impressed at the amount of time it took me to do that. So. All right, so we're going to start things off. Carrie and I were having a lovely little discussion before this, thinking we were live. So I'm just going to pick that up. So let me put our little banner on here. Okay, so Carrie, I didn't do this the last time, so let's do this time. So if you would just like to let me know that everything's correct on the little banner at the bottom, just making sure that your email is all good. And your website is all good. I double checked on what I had, so I think
that looks good to me. So great.
Okay. Wonderful. Alma says she sees our beautiful faces. Thank you, Alma. So just a reminder to everyone that if you do want to, if you'd like us to see your name when you leave a comment, just click the Allow StreamYard to see my name. It's in the description. So for example, this is Alma. Hi, Alma. And and then this is somebody that I don't know. So you have to click that Allow StreamYard to see my name so I know who you are. And you're welcome. And we have Sharon, who just said she got in. So everybody's anxiously waiting and going, why can't I get in here? So there's a few of our messages. All right. Okay, so welcome, Carrie. Excited to have Carrie here with me. I was just sharing before when we thought we were live that I'm away for the weekend, and I have my Soul Life treasure hunt game board instructions because I don't get video where I am, and I have my little bag of gems. See, I'm getting everyone intrigued. What are they talking about? Why does Marianne have a little bag of gems? You're going to find out. And these lovely little cards. Okay, so you're gonna learn all about those. So let me formally introduce Carrie, someone who I have had the pleasure of crossing paths with about, we think it might be about a year and a half, 2 years ago, maybe more. Time flies when you're having fun. And just a lovely, lovely lady. Yeah, just I love having you here. So Carrie is a personal victory encouragement coach. I love that name, by the way, personal victory encouragement coach. It just makes me want to go, yay, go. Her company is Carrie Farmer Connections. She supports women in midlife and beyond to rise up and strengthen their intuitive connection to inner knowing using her proprietary method called Soul Life Treasure Hunt, which increases self-confidence guaranteed. For women who are ready to remove self-doubt and discover their higher power to find more inner peace, Carrie is your gal, and she helps you connect the dots between courage, personal victory, and learning to trust your intuition for authentic answers. So once again, welcome, Carrie.
Thank you. It's always such an honor to be in your presence. I always love your energy, and Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thanks again.
Thank you, Carrie, and right back at you. And Barbara, we see your name because you typed it in. So hi, Barbara. So we know who the other person is that was there. Okay, so we were just chatting about how you got into this line of work. So you were telling me a very beautiful, engaging story, and then I cut you off. My apologies.
No
So
worries.
please tell us how you got into this line of work.
Okay. What I thought I would do is kind of give you the broad stroke of my life to this point. It explains why I felt so lost and needed some kind of modality that met my own need. I felt like I didn't know anything. I felt like I hadn't done anything in my life, that other people had all the goods and I had nothing. So I grew up in a household where both my parents, their own mothers passed away when they were really just young children. So that created dynamics of dysfunction in their two families. And back in those times, there really wasn't a lot of support, the social services, the
Mhm.
psychological research, and different things to support families in those times just wasn't there. So they were dealing with alcoholic fathers and being raised by different members of family, and just they were mixed up. It was children raising children, kind of a scenario. And so we really didn't go to church. My mother would, from time to time, if I was invited to go to a Sunday school or vacation Bible school, she'd send me saying, "Oh, you got to be a good girl now, and you got to dress up." But she wouldn't go. She'd just send me off with strangers, essentially. And I'd be looking at these stories going, I don't relate to any of this. So growing up in school, there was evolution and being taught. And I was like, okay, so there really is nothing spiritual out there. It's just all on me. And then I fell in love with my husband. At the time, we were just dating. And he was like, there has got to be something more to this life than just working and doing. He was more on the spiritual trail of, seeking from wisdom from a lot of woo woo and different other religious thoughts and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, no, not a problem. It's just, but eventually we did end up in a church environment, which was pretty much that Christian right. So nowadays I consider myself a recovering Christian right person. It's like, you go through various stages in your growth, and it's all beautiful when it comes to this moment of now. And for some of your viewers, they may still be feeling like they're really in the struggle of their lives. And I can just encourage you to allow that struggle to really give you momentum and direction as to what do you need, where do you need to go. In my experience, I was at a point where it was like I'm feeling such low self-esteem. Like I didn't feel I had anything, had done anything with my life, didn't know a thing either. Everybody else had all the wisdom. And I just prayed. And I just prayed and I said, I need a map. And I was looking for maps. It was an oracle deck or a book by Colette Baron Reed I had great hopes for, called The Map, but it wasn't what I was looking for. So shucky darns, I guess I'm going to have to make my own. So I just sat down and I just went, okay, I realized that what made sense to me, there's different realms of your life. You've got the physical body, the health thing here, and then you've got this emotional thing going as well. And those two are aligning yourself together. They're information givers to yourself. You know, they tell you a lot about who and what you are about. Then you've got your material wealth and resources, and all the career, the hobbies, the communities you might tap into for just those kind of support things. And then you've got your relationships. And again, the relationships are just with everything, with your family, with your in-laws, with traffic, with weather. I just went, I'm in relationship with the divine. I knew that sounded right. That first and foremost, there's a relationship with God. I can also term that as good, or the universe, or cosmos, or whatever source, whatever it meets anyone's needs. It's all good to me. And so essentially, when you're in relationship, you're wanting to see where you can find the points where you're centered. So you want peace, love, harmony. That for me tells me I have alignment. And when I'm not in that zone, then I know there's something to balance. It's kind of like being on those little balance boards, or teeter-totters, where you can stand on that beam, and you might put a little more weight on one because it's a little over leveraged in another, maybe another thought or another feeling, and you can readjust and get that balance point of your life. So that's how I view this method. So
Yeah. And so I'm gonna stop you just for a moment, but I want to come back to that, because I just want to reiterate a couple things that you said that I don't want us to lose as we keep going on. The first thing you said that, made me write it down was other people had all the goods and I had nothing. And I just think that's so important to bring out, because oftentimes people do feel like they're alone, and, they don't know how to navigate through something. And then what I love that happened next for you is you met your husband, so you got connected with someone who opened your eyes, to this other version, of how life could be. And then you went looking for a map, and I think I have the deck you're talking about, the call it Bear Reed's Map of the Oracle. Is that the deck that you have at first?
yes, I believe
Yeah.
so. Yes.
Yeah, went looking for a map. And then you create it because you didn't find it. And I think this is just so important, because sometimes we go looking for something, we don't find it, but then you said, I'm going to create it. And so then you tapped into your inner wisdom, and you created this way to navigate the emotions you were feeling and the experiences you were having, and right. So is that a good summary of what you told me?
Absolutely. I knew I needed to put everything out on the table. I needed to take a real good look, be more in the observation seat of my
Mm,
life with the divine.
yeah.
So I was like, okay, let's put it all out. Let's have it all above board. Let's face it all fearlessly, even though I was scared. I was completely convinced that, I said, okay, show me where I'm wrong. And it was the most beautiful thing. It was like, nothing's wrong. You're fine. You're good. You're loved, and you're amazing. And I was
Yeah.
like, seriously, what is this about? Then there was also what I originally had done with the board is I did a life inventory. Is one of the things I did when I created it. I had all the realms, and I developed various aspects within each of the realms that we all seem to experience. It's almost like at school, your teacher gives everybody the same coloring sheet or the same um, test, whatever that, is open essay or whatever. And everybody's going to have their own unique artwork or their own unique stories that they're going to write or whatever. But we all get the blank piece of paper. It's like just and it just was like if you took the core of our lives, because we're more spherical or whatever. But if you could get one of those little, like if you cut a tree and you could see all the lines, the core and all that goes out and out and out, all the rings, what does our life really look like? So we all have a body, we all have emotions, we all have relationships, and we all have the material stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you do with that? Where are you at? And I happen to have these little beads. I don't know if you can see those.
Oh, there you go.
But they're like the floral beads and stuff. I just happen to have them around. So I went around and I had decided, maybe there is no right or wrong. Maybe we're in process along our lives. We'll have a moment of everything's neutral, doesn't charge us at all. We don't have a goal or a thought about it. We're just like, yay or nay, whatever, it exists. I call that the neutral point. Then a lot of times we'll move into something where we're starting to make a decision. Do I, yes or no? Do I want to? It's more where you might feel like you're in conflict. You could be in conflict with yourself or with another. And so where do you negotiate? That's the negotiating the pros and cons. And then you do that enough, you might be dithering and going around and around like you do in those roundabouts on the roads, where you just, you can't figure out which road you're going to take until you just finally go, I'm going this way, and hurry off. And that's when I assigned another color to that, or another style of bead to that element of our lives when we're on the road to manifesting our dreams and goals. So now we're in the seeking mode. Now we're looking for teachers. We're looking for books. We're looking for answers. We're not there yet. We're not fully sure, but we're going to head towards something that we've made a choice for. And then it comes to the point, if you are on a road or a spiritual path, you might feel like you've come up over the rise of a road and of a hill, and you might actually see the lights, like say in Vegas, maybe you're coming up over and you can see all the lights and you're going, oh, we're there, but you're not there yet. You haven't parked in gone through the streets and found your parking lot in the hotel and different things, but you at least feel like you're there. You've got the clarity, the aha moment. And that's really important in your manifesting, is that clarity, that, okay, I got it. Okay, it's here, but nobody else is going to see it, but I know it's here. It's that inner knowing. And then the green beads I chose to mean manifesting. It's manifested. I've actually created this in my life, whether it just dropped in or it showed up somehow. Like green shoots, in the spring, who does any of that? It just happens. It just comes for you. And that was really eye-opening for me. So essentially, I went through the board and I said, have I ever manifested any of these things? So I asked myself, where am I at? It was practically full of greens. Wow. I was like, okay. So I do manifest.
That's a huge aha moment.
It's huge. Then I went back and I said, okay, well, where am I at in each of these things? And it was only just a very few areas that I actually found I had conflict in. And that made so much sense to me. I had some clarities. I had some current moment manifestations that were really here. But then I had these, just a small amount. And then I could see the dots. Oh, I have got conflict here because I've got another question over here, like in the relationship or in the emotional stage or in the physical or wherever it was at. And it was like, okay, so then you start narrowing it down and you go, oh, I'm going to focus on this one aspect. And then, the rest will resolve. It was so powerful for me. Anyway, that's what excites me about this method, is I see a lot of other ways to use it. When I do my card readings, I can see seasons and cycles and the purpose for what's going on right now, and the ultimate crowning jewel it is for me in this situation, even though I might be in a conflict currently and a little out of balance, or a little, if I can find my balance where I can harmonize things a little more, I'll feel more aligned. So
that's what you mean when you say connect the dots, is because that's what you did, is once you looked at the, I'll say deficiencies for lack of a better word, but just those places that you weren't quite into alignment with yet, then you could kind of, you laid it out in a vision in front of you so that you could see it more clearly, so you could see how everything interacts, so you could see where the pieces are that needed attention, so you could fill in the gaps.
Absolutely. It's like I'm sitting with spirit right by me, and we're in the director's seat, watching the play go on, on the stage, and you can see, you kind of got a little emotional charge here. We can talk about that. We can do readings.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so for those watching, we're going to, because you can do a screen share. You could show the board. We're going to show the game. That's what I was trying to say, right? You can do that. So why don't we pop that up for a moment, just because we're talking about it, and just take a look at what this looks like. So,
sure.
Okay. Wonderful. So yeah, walk us through this. And just while you're doing that, I was just putting in the colors, and I'm just going to pop them up here. Now, I didn't put in the descriptions of each color just for space, but I'm just going to repeat them. So white is awareness, gray is uncertainty, conflict, blue is seeking, 4 is clarity, vision, and 5 is manifested. So I just kind of want to walk through that little bit of a journey through those colors. But
okay,
I'm gonna let you take it away.
All right. So, we start out, let's say you're a baby and you're just innocent, pure, just kind of in this neutral zone. You're just experiencing. Later on, you may decide that you want to say walk, and your body isn't connecting with all of it, but you want something really badly. So that's the misty. It's the, it's like I don't know how to get there. I know I feel like I need to grow here. I need to be able to do what everybody else is doing. I can't figure this out for myself. And then eventually you might get really to the point where you're going, okay, I'm going to walk from here to there. So you're seeking out all the ways that you can, walk, holding on to mom and dad's hands, or, going across the tables, and, finding your way. And then there's that balance where you're going, oh, I can stand on my own. I don't have to touch anything. And then before long, you're off to walking, which then brings you back to another moment of the white, where that the people are running. Well, what's that about? Do I care? And then once you start to go, I think I kind of want to. Do I want to walk? Do I want to learn to run? Do I? Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. Maybe I'm scared, but and they keep encouraging me to do something here. What is that about? And then you'll make a decision that, yeah, I'm going to start walking a little faster and try things out. And before you know it, you're off, and you can feel it before you actually, you can even, whatever it might be. Now, let's say you're married now, or you understand that there's marriage in the world. Do you or don't you? When you're young, you don't know. Yeah, maybe not. Who knows? Haven't decided yet. Don't even have an opinion yet. Then it's like, I really would like to have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or, I would really like to have somebody in my life. So then you might start going seeking. And then you find somebody who's really interesting. It seems like it's really charging. And then, bingo, you actually have a relationship with another person, which then brings you back down to the next cycle of, well, what is this next about? And then you might have I do, he doesn't. What do we want? What's interesting? You might have those conflicts. It just seemed to me that there is no right or wrong. It's just you're in process of manifesting. So it's not like you haven't manifested or you're not manifesting anything. It is just where are you along the chart. Does that give you encouragement to not judge yourself, to be more like, this is interesting? So really value those conflict times with, this is really good for me. I'm negotiating within myself, or I'm negotiating with my other significant other, and we're really going to make a decision that's a win-win for both of us. And then you just, well, what does that mean? Are we going to buy a house? Yeah, let's get a house. But what kind of a house? Then you start going off, checking out houses, for instance. And then you might see the kind of houses you're looking for. You kind of get a more clarity. And then before long, you might find something that is like a heck yeah, let's sign the contract. We can do it. It's all within our means and we're ready to go.
So this is very much a game that someone would play on their own. Like it's a game. It's a solitaire game. Although I did see that there are ways that you can do that with other people as well.
Yeah. It definitely. I saw it as more of a personal journey. If life is a game, let's play to love. So love the journey, love yourself. Love the experiences and consider them like gems. Like these are gems, right? And when I play with those, to me, that just sounds abundant. When I had all of those on the board and I could just feel, for me, it's more tactile. It's things I can touch, feel, taste, sense somehow and hear. So when I played with these, it was like, now it makes sense. Now I can take all those experiences that are haunting me and making me cringe and go more like it was just part of the information, the data that has brought me to this point in now.
So we can't see the words on the game board very clearly because it's smaller. So can you just kind of walk us through, how you would use that? And I see your dice there, and I'll just, share a funny little story. If somebody doesn't have any dice, because I was at the camp and didn't have any dice, I downloaded an app, and if you shake your phone, it rolls the dice. So
that was cool. I love it.
So if you don't have dice, just look up the dice app. It was free.
All right.
All right.
I roll mostly because I was so insecure that if I just said, okay, I want to talk about my body's health in endurance, for instance, that I would be not really in touch with my intuition. So, what's really
Carrie,
important.
And just tell us just point to the 4 quadrants and tell us what they are.
Here's the body right in here. There's 36 major aspects within each of these quadrants. So there's 144 aspects that we're looking at in this. Now, obviously, but it's at least enough to trigger a thought and a feeling. There's 36 aspects in the emotional realm. In the body realm, let's go back, like overall health, exercise, respect, your sixth sense, your intuitional feeling, vibrancy, things along that line. It just has a lot of various bits that, pertain to your overall health in your physical body. Do you have energy? Do you not? Do you need recovery? That's what this board navigates you to when you need to ask those questions. What do I need today? And then emotional would be things like, am I emotionally flexible? Am I emotionally joyful? Am I emotionally, intuitive? Do I trust that self? Am I fearless? Things along that line. In your relationships, you would have, what is my relationship even to my thoughts? What is my relationship to public speaking? What's my relationship to traffic? I think that tells us a lot. That's a lot of people have got traffic. like, what are you talking about? Weather? What are you talking about? But we all have these these things where can we be in a relationship with those things and let them flow as they need to flow. And then in the material, again, another 36 of them, which would be like education, your career, your money, your self-expression with your material things. Do you have resources where you have assistants or assistants, like actual assistants who help you, or those things. So it was interesting to put this together. And the more I've worked with it over the years, the more I am just stunned, because now I'm seeing chakra connections. I am seeing things in the tarot. This is like, to me, a large tarot card. And I use the numerology and the astrology. I can use it when I'm, using and I can see in the houses of these 12 astrology houses how it all plays out. It's been really fun. Now, in the other segment that we may do after this, I've got one where you could play with a group. Like, say you have 4 people, and each one would take one of the 4 quadrants, and they would have their own deck, and they would pull a card, and then everybody would play together and encourage one another and those kinds of things. So there's a lot of ways to play with this, maybe with your family, to get your kids to think about how they're feeling and what comes up for them in the moment. So rolling the dice is super fun, and you don't have to do that. You could use cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you could just pick a card. You could find an app, pendulums.
I originally did muscle testing, but then my fingers were getting sore, so it's just my
fingers.
So then I decided to see if I could find some dice in it.
I've even visualized, why not make a dartboard of it and just throw a dart and see where it sticks.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love it. I really, I'm fascinated because I played with this. Like I said, I've had this for a while, and I didn't, everything was by video, and I didn't realize I could print it. And I'm often somewhere where I don't have video. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I can print it all. So I just printed it all and took it with me. And then I played with it. But then I read all the different variations of the way you can do it. And even just me playing with it on my own, just you talking about it here now, gets me excited to do different things. Like, it gives me a better understanding just from this brief conversation of how this can be used. So so just coming back to the board for a moment, because I'm just explaining them. By the way, so if anybody wants to leave a comment, please do. I am checking those, and I do see someone who says, yay, I'm here, but I don't know who you are, because you have to allow StreamYard to show your name. I think you might be a membership, because I didn't see you in the other group. I took a peek just to see, but hello. And just put your name in, and I'll know who it is. And for the members, Carrie and I are going to hang out afterwards. And Shine, if you're part of Shine membership, I'm going to give you a link. Now, if you had a link already, I had to restart the meeting. So I'll send you the new link in our private Facebook group. So you'll have that. So just so you know, and we're going to play with this on a little deeper level. Oh, it's Belinda. Hi, Belinda. Belinda's a member, so she'll be hopefully with us afterwards. So coming back to the board just for a moment. So we kind of have a sense of the stones and the colors. Now we know what the 4 quadrants are. The center. Yes, tell us about the center, and then the cross.
Yeah. The center is a heart, to remind me that we come in from unconditional love, and we release our bodies to unconditional love, to heavenlies, whatever. So that is, this works a lot like an altar for me, a space for me and spirit to join together and actually work. So I always set whatever piece. A lot of times I'll use a gemstone or whatever I like to right there, and then I'll roll. So, like, for instance, I'll just roll. Let's do you mind if I do a reading for us?
No, please do. So, do you want me to ask if there's a question that someone has? Would that be helpful?
Sure, that's fine.
Okay, so Yeah, so if someone has a scenario they can just put out there just to give us something specific that we can do. And just while I'm waiting for that to happen, because there's always that little delay. So the other so pieces at the top of we'll say the plus sign, pieces at the top, harmonies at the bottom, and then we have flow in on the left and flow in on the right, right?
Right. So you've got peace, love, harmony right down here at the bottom.
That makes
Harmony
sense.
is what is right here on the earth plane. So this is where we might be a little off kilter. Harmonizing, balancing, finding our balance point is when I do cards, you'll see that. That's the point where we're going to be, oh, okay. So if I harmonize or find more balance, this will ease up. The piece is telling you where your personal power is, what you're conscious of, what tools you can use in the situation. And the heart of the matter is where it's like, this is what spirit really wants you to get. It wants you to understand this topic or this subject or this piece of the point, what the main point of this conversation is all about.
The heart of the matter.
The heart of the matter. What brought this into being? So right here is all the now. Peace, love, and harmony. How is it flowing in? How did it flow in? And kind of, if nothing changes, how is it kind of flowing outward right now? How can
that
it
would
go?
be how you're bringing it into your life, but also how you're bringing it out. Does that make sense?
Definitely, because what's going on right now impacts how
like
it's
flow
going.
out would be your expression of it, right? Because we bring things
Right.
in, but then it has to move. It's currency.
Which road are you on? Are you on? And if you don't like that card where it's telling you right now, if you didn't change anything, it's kind of going there. Or if it's going in a good place, you're going, woohoo! We'll just stay here. We'll just harmonize this and we'll just move, just do more, tighten it in, bring it more into focus.
Make it more of a habit, cement it in, that kind of thing.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to pop over to the questions to see if we can use an example so we can run through this.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. So, Elma posted one here. So I'm going to show this. I'm not sure what type of question, but I would love to know what my personal power is. So can you work with that, or do you need that fine tuned a bit?
Let's try it.
Okay. So, and walk us through what you're doing as you do it.
Okay. I'm going to just do my, I use a 4-sided dice because that tells me which quadrant we're going to be working in. And then I use the 6-sided dice because that tells
me the 4-sided dice. I don't even know what the 4-sided dice. What is that? I've never even.
It's more like a triangle.
Yeah. Okay.
So it just does 1, 2, 3, 4. However.
Okay. So then when you roll that, does that tell you which quadrant to be in?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And then the 6-sided dice will give me column and row. So let's just see what happens.
Let's see what happens. I like the way this is just like, ooh, let's just see where it takes us.
Okay, Alma, we're going to go into your body health realm, your personal power.
Of course we are. I know Alma well, and that makes perfect sense.
All right. And then we have 2 and 3. So I can go down to the 2 and the 3 and say beauty, or I can go 3 and 2 and pleasure. I'm going for beauty. Your personal power is your beauty. All right. Depending on how I go about it, you know what? Let's take a look. I did have these little cards these are just little sayings. So I just like a grab bag
Oh, yes.
whatever
Yes. And I
sticks.
did see in that you would also have cards where you would just pull like a quote or oracle or tarot or whatever you might have.
Yeah. So
Angel
it
cards.
says the gemstone involved with this is kyanite.
Mm-hmm.
And kyanite is a lot like selenite, where it is a real purifier type stone. It's very beautiful. And it says commune with nature. Nature is another source of great support, filled with living, breathing examples of balance and truth. Notice how nature stirs your soul. So there's your personal power. So you could put that at the heart of the matter, and you could ponder what is beautiful about you, about your body, about how your body works with you, to go out in nature and to commune with nature, bring it all together so that that's your personal power. You could choose to go out or not, but you have power there, and to really appreciate and love yourself. So you could be journaling on this. You could be thinking about your day. But when I've dealt with cards in the past, I just found it really hard to just pull a card and think about it. It didn't connect the dots for me quite like it does when I go, okay, Spirit wants me to take a look at, in this instance, my physical beauty, the beauty I have, and recommending that I really connect it with nature to fully appreciate what the gift is here. I'm going to use the wisdom of the oracle, for instance. This is a fun one,
My
but
favorite.
I flip books and go to a page and just, boom, and I'll look at that paragraph or that sentence, and it's like, whoa, that brings me some kind of message that I can take with me. So it doesn't
Now,
matter.
and just before you read that, coming back to the stones, because I just want to build in the different components, because you talked about the stones, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at this point, would Alma, if she was doing this on her own, would she also choose a stone based on where she is with her, her health and her, what do we pick, beauty, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a
So
great way to do it. I've done that. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So the stones would be, and just to kind of reiterate that. So, white is having that desire. I'm just trying to relate this to that. So it's a desire. So I would think in that case, it would be a desire to, I don't know, love your body more, for example. I'm just saying that. And then moving into gray would be, but I don't really know how to do that. So how do I do that? Give me some guidance. Or blue would be, I'm already working on that. Clear would be, oh, I do love my body. This is how. And then the green would be seeing the evidence of that. Have I done a good job of explaining that?
I would say yes. The
Okay.
green kind of has that where it's apparent to all concerned. Everybody could see that.
Okay.
I love my body. I love myself. I have the expression that I really want to be in the world.
Don't show that card yet. I see it, but don't show it yet, because I want to just bring this back to Alma. So Alma, I'm going to just offer my perspective based on what's coming up. But you said, I'd love to know what my personal power is. And it seems like what's coming up around this is your personal power is in your ability to love yourself and love your body, because we're talking about health and body. And so I would be curious to know, with the stones, where are you with that? And it's a rhetorical question. You don't have to answer that here. You can if you want to, but in this playing of this game, white would be, I desire that, I don't have it. Gray would be, I know I should, but I don't know how. Blue is, I'm working on it. Clear is, aha, that makes sense, I do. And green is, of course I do, it's evident in my life, right? So she gray, she answered me right away. So she's gray. So I know I desire it, but I don't know how. Now you pulled a card from the wisdom of the oracle. I'm pretty sure I got a little glimpse of it, and I know what it is because it's my signature deck. So share that card, because if it's the one I think it is, it's perfect.
It's card number 14, Truth Be Told.
Mm-hmm.
And And so 1 and 4, 1 to me is that personal self. 4 is the foundational part. 1 and 4 make a 5, which is very transformational. It's all up for grabs. It's wherever you want to put it on the dial. If you're want to, consider this like a clock, do we want to look, where do we want to be? Really targeting, is there a situation where you're emotionally struggling on some level, and it is impacting how your body is expressing itself and showing you what is going on with it? Or how is that playing out? Maybe it's in relationships. Maybe there's some input coming or some feedback coming from outside of yourself, and that's another good question. What would I do with that? I could be in the resources realm. I'm putting so much out in resources or I'm not focusing enough, or so you could actually look at this and say, do some self-evaluation of where you may want to be going with things. So if I were to do my own reading on this, I would be like, oh, truth be told, there's an owl, there's an open window, there's the owl sitting on this mask. Wow, with a lot of hearts flying around. I'm going to take a look and I'm going to ask what needs to be balanced for Alma in this. Is card number 45, time to go. Is there some place that you need to move away from? Is there some situation that you're in conflict about, that you're like, I need to move away or go, or and then your personal power in this situation is, and I do this I feel my cards. And so it's time for a nap. So card number 24. What?
She gets that card a lot in readings.
Is that right? So 24, again, partnering up with the right foundational processes or whatever feels more like home to you. And so resting in your own home and partnering with yourself or with the right other being who's more supportive. And that 2 and 4 creates 6, which means more nurturing, more supportive care, more maybe professional support possibly, or just going to an expert who can give you more of an insight, more objective information that can offer more hope or more progression than you've been able to do just on your own. So truth be told, and time for a nap, so, and then here we go, time to go. It's time for something to change. So if you're going to be resting, just go rest. Take care of yourself. A 4 and a 5, the foundational and transformation, is going to equal 9, which is soul. There's something in the soul going on here that is really part of her, that peace, love, and harmony. She's going to support her soul by facing a truth and just taking the time out to rest. And just, you'll make more progress if you'll not be afraid to move on.
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. And thank you, Alma, for coming forth with that and allowing us to play with you and play with that, and showing how beautiful this game is, and how insightful it is, and allowing you to go deeper into a question and get guidance, I think, in a very unique way. So we're going to go a little past the hour because we were a little bit late getting going because of tech challenges. But there's a couple of questions I have for you, Carrie. So maybe if you want to come back on screen,
Oh,
and
sure.
and then we'll come back to the game when we do our little after party in a few minutes. But so there's a couple of things that you've said, and I just want to bring those forth because I think they're so important. By the way, for those who are watching, and we'll get a lot of, and those on the replay, because I know we always get a lot of replay watchers. Just let us know if that resonates with you. So going into those 4 quadrants, right? Emotional, relationship, health, material, and just, I always say feel into it. How did it feel when we were doing the game? Like for me, it was just very calm and serene. Like that was the energy around it. It was beautiful. So you had a couple of these things you already answered. But the one I really like, you talked about seasons and cycles of life experiences. Is that kind of related to the stones? Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, how like I said, the tarot deck, tarot card, like a giant tarot card, and how you can look at tarot card. I can see the pillars on the sides. I can see the flow in the middle, flow in, flow out through the heart. It's like kind of also has that Christian cross thing. So that was important to me to feel into that alignment and letting life flow. So it's kind of like, wherever you're at. Yeah. You always have a good bead or a good, you always have your center, you're flowing with whatever happens, but you can keep, yourself square to your life, and you're not upended into an emotional tsunami and, lost in the seas of emotions and whatever is taking you away. So essentially, finding your own power. I've got a mercy column, a strength column. In the center is that alignment. So when we were looking at beauty, what was interesting is it's right in the doorway of between those pillars in tarot, where you've got the mercy and the strength. So beauty is like the gateway through. It is like, this is a big central theme that will really offer you more freedom in your life. So then I also have in these areas, I've got what I call boxes, where they're not really part of the flow and they're not really in the zone of the alignment. Those would be what I'd call the toolboxes. These are things that kind of put a little in your life, and it makes you have to really work to get the message or to get the victory. And so when you see those aspects, then for me, it's like, it's good. Okay. It's not against me. It's just, giving me more skills, more oomph to be able to, so I can do that. And then the crosswise, the diagonals. Oh, this is kind of fun too. So if, those tell me things like, more trajectory, different things. So I've got one corner is for seasons and cycles. That's more universal. This is just, maybe it's time for you to be in this maturing process of your life. So a card down there would tell you that this is what we're working on with you right now as a soul, and for the purpose of, and it would go to the other. So when you take the square and you turn it this way, you can see that your life is a diamond shaped life.
Interesting.
So it's been a lot of fun to play with this. And like I said, there's just been so many more ways to mess around with this that I've done, that most people are like, yeah, that sounds like a whole heck of a lot of work. And I'm like, no, no way. But for me, it was like, I just wanted to see what it was like. I said, okay, let's play like I'm spirit, trying to guide my little ego down here. And so I was rolling dice, and I'd throw it around move it around the board however I wanted, and I'd pull a card each time. That's when I went, whoa, the first time I did that, the messages were like, okay, so spot on. It got me a little scared, because it's like, oh, we're playing now. We're really playing. So anyway, it is more a personal development. It's for figuring out how to actually play the game of life in your own life, see your life more from an adventurous angle. And so I like to use the word game, but map might be a better word for other people, that it's actually a map for them.
Yeah.
So I'm still kind of debating between the two, because for me, it's been important for me to play in my spiritual journey. Otherwise, I'm too rigid.
Yeah, I think game says play, and sometimes people just need to lighten up a little bit when they dig into the depths of their life. So I kind of like that, and it's fun and light.
Thank you.
I just want to let you know, Alma, I see your question. I'm going to bring it up here in just a moment. So Carrie, you do have a special offer. Now, before I share that, they can go and purchase this game as well, right? So I'll make sure I put the link into that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I will, when we're done, I will go edit the replay post, everyone, just so you know. And the links will be in there, so you can go and get the Soul Life Treasure Hunt game board and everything we just talked about. But the other thing that Carrie has is, I don't know if I don't think I put in here. I think I just put in, oh, I did. Okay. So she has a self-assessment quiz to understand what holds you back from happiness and balance in life. And so I'm going to put the link in, but can you just tell us a little bit about that, Carrie?
Yeah, there's a quiz of about 11 questions, and it kind of helps you to get a bead on, various aspects, your health, your wealth, your resources, how you what triggers you, it can help you to just get a little sense of, that's helpful for me to journal on and work on. And at the end of that, you could, if you wanted to, continue to request a special breakthrough session with me. It's a 2-hour session, so it would just give you the time to work with me. I only just really get into some nitty gritty for you, and let you do some of that, get to that point of, aha, that's what I want to see for you, is this aha, okay, I felt so stuck, and I felt so, but the answers are within you. It's not me, but I will assist and help you with getting there with this process. So yeah, I love doing those for free. And then when you take the quiz, you can sign up for my newsletter. And if you buy the game, I've switched it up a little bit, where I actually have a community experience where we'll be doing more in there and playing together with the game and doing more of that. So when that happens, you can be part of that too, and do more work with me on that.
Awesome. That's great, and a beautiful segue into Alma's question. So it resonates with me. Do you go more in depth with one-to-one session? For example, I really like that snippet of what you do. However, I'm lost when it came to answering the question. So I think that you did answer that, but I'm going to let you answer Alma specifically.
Yes, absolutely. I do have some coaching calls or reading opportunities. I can do it virtually. I can do it one-on-one, where maybe I would say with Alma, it'd probably be best if we got on a webinar-like call and we really work through it together with you. So that is also an option. You can find that information on my website. So it's
and I'll make sure that's listed as well. Well, it's right on the ticker, but I'll make sure the that it's in the comments as well.
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just conscious of time, which means that I do have to bring this part to a close because we're going to pop in with members and play a little bit. So Carrie, thank you so much. Like, I just feel like I could just stay on here for another 2 hours with you. And so I'm excited that you're not going yet. And I wonder if you might just give, what's your one piece of advice to someone who, is just trying to figure out their life, the game of life. What would you say to them?
You are so loved and so cared about, and all the turmoil you may be feeling inside is merely just giving you the impetus, because there's something inside you saying, this can't be true. This other part, there's got to be more. There's got to be something that is really the ultimate message for me, that the inner knowing, the thing that I am actually supposed to go for, and to actually see, respect, understand, and embrace about myself. Who am I, first and
Beautiful.
foremost?
Awesome. Thank you, Carrie. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to end the live part of this, but you're going to stay in studio with me. So I'm going to put a little outro screen up so everybody has your contact details. And then members, I'm going to go post the link in the private Facebook group that we have. And so you'll have that. It is a new link, so the other one I gave you won't work. So I'm going to do all of that and going to be right back. So Carrie, I'm going to just take you out for a moment. Don't go away and bring you back. And so it's just me, and I'm going to put on our screen. And I'm going to take myself out, and then I'm just going to leave that up for a minute so you guys can grab the contact details if you need to. Thank you, everyone who was here live. And for those in the replay, just make sure you put hashtag replay so I know that you're watching it a replay. All right. Bye.